So when we talk about relationships, right, we normally talk also about communication, because without communication, there is hardly ever a relationship, right? We get into a relationship because we communicated before, and we stay in a relationship because we continue to communicate, and we end relationships because we miscommunicate, or we stop communicating, or there is a misunderstanding in our communication, right? So let's look at the positions of Mercury, since it is the Lord and the ruler of communication, in terms of house placements, right? But in reading these Mercury placements, right, we are going to look at them from different angles, because in our lives we are in different positions as well, right? So first of all, we must take into consideration the signs in our charts, right? Because each placement of the house will act differently depending on the sign. Why is this? It is because some signs are not accommodating to Mercury, and with some signs Mercury is not comfortable to be in, such as, for example, Cancer. Mercury is not comfortable to be in Cancer. Mercury is not empowered to be in Pisces sign. So definitely the sign changes, some of the things that we're going to talk about. But we are going to just focus on the house placements for today to make the discussion easier and like a step one type of a vibe, right? But we must also remember that this Mercury in our charts, it could also be aspected by other planets. It could be conjunct with a certain planet. It could be affected by so many planets, right? Again, changing the dynamics even more and more and more, right? So also this Mercury placement could also be in a certain degree that also influences how this Mercury will operate. But remember, when we're talking about degrees, we are bringing in the nakshatras, and with each section of a nakshatra, a planet behaves differently. Why is this? It is because each section of a nakshatra, or the degree category, it is ruled or influenced by a certain planet, again, so which makes it even more complicated, and which makes it even more unique to your chart. But for the sake of understanding the overall placement of Mercury and how it affects our relationships in terms of communication, we are going to pretend today that we don't know the sign, that we don't know the aspects, that we don't know the degree. We only know where Mercury is, right? Now, I always encourage people to take out your chart when you listen to something, and when it comes to synastry, take out your chart and your person's charts and have them against each other, right? So that you can see where your Mercury is, and then you can also see where their Mercury is in comparison to your chart. Why is this? It is because when I am saying something about a placement of Mercury, right, and then you find it in your chart, and then through aspects, then you can see how it's relating to your partner's Mercury. What am I saying? Mita, what are you saying? For an example, if your Mercury is making a trine or a conjunction or a sextile to your partner's Mercury, then the communication is going to be easy, it's going to flow, and the things that I'm going to advise are going to be easily applicable, right? However, if your Mercury is semi-sextile, in conjunct, or square your partner's Mercury, then the things that I'm going to say are going to be challenging to apply, right? However, because as we already said, we are in different stages of our lives in our relationships, right? So if you are in a starting phase, you want to start a relationship, you are crushing on someone, right? The semi-sextile in conjunct square, so the challenging aspects, you can try to do, these things I'm going to talk about. But then the problem is that you're going to get tired at some point, because you can only try so much. Like, you can't change who you are. So you can try to do what I say do now. But then with some time, the square is going to show, and those compromises are going to be taxing to you, right? So you can win the partner by doing these things, but then with time, the square, the in conjunction, and the semi-sextile are going to start to take over on you, particularly depending on the house. Because if we're talking about the sixth house, then these problems are going to affect your health. They're going to affect even your work schedule. So, so these are very important to consider. However, if it is in a trine, conjunction, or sextile, then from the get-go, you're able to win this partner or this person that you're looking for immediately, because the communication is going to be easy. The methods that I'm going to advise are going to be easy to apply, and you're going to get them right. However, if you are in a relationship already or a marriage already, and you want to fix stuff in your relationship, you want to make things better, then regardless of it's a square or in conjunction, like a difficult one, right, with the efforts of what I'm going to say, then you can apply that, because you are already in the situation and maybe you want to save your relationship. Then in this case, you are already dealing with this square already. You are already having the problems of the conjunctions. So what I'm going to say then is going to help you make the situation better, right? So if you want now to end the relationship, definitely then with the square in conjunction semi-sextile, you can just leave things to be and end the relationship, right? So now let's start. So if your partner's Mercury is on their ascendant, right, and you want to get their attention, or you want to make things better in the relationship through communication, then this person likes to talk about themselves. So it means that you must show interest, when they talk about themselves, when they talk about their personality, or you yourself, you can ask them about themselves, about their personality, and about what they think about their beauty, all of that, right? Because this is what interests them. They like to talk about themselves. They like to talk about how vibrant they are, or how they feeling, or what they want to do in life, their own drive, their own passion, right? So they are very self-centered in their communication. So if you want to start a relationship with somebody with this Mercury in the first place, then just suck it up and ask about them, listen and all of that, right? At the same time, if you are already in a relationship and you want to save your relationship, then start to show interest in the partner, like what they're doing, how they're feeling, all of that, like their personality wise. Talk about, how they look, give them compliments, because this will make them be happy, or to feel like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm valued in this relationship. The second point of a Mercury on the ascendant is that they also like to talk about you. They're curious about you, the partner, right? Since the seventh aspect is on the seventh house, the partner. So they also want to hear about your thoughts, about you, about your life, right? So the communication here in terms of Mercury in the first house, it is about your personalities, your goals, your appearances. These are the things that really help the relationship go, right? However, remember now, as I said, when I'm talking about a partner, you have their chart on the side. So maybe now they have their Mercury on the ascendant, but your Mercury is in the fifth house, which is making a trine, right? Which will make it easy to talk about these things. However, if your Mercury is in the eighth house, then these things will be challenging for you, because you will get suddenly tired of just hearing about your partner talking about themselves all the time, and then you would need to transform yourself, change your own views, trying to appease them, and just make them feel valued and all of that, which would be complicated and a problem for you. But if you're already in a situation, marriage, all of that, this is what you have to do to save your relationship, right? So now the Mercury is in the second house, right? Here your partner likes to talk. So this is the Mercury of your partner, right, in their chart. So with your partner, or this person that you want to date, they like to talk about their family. They like to talk about how they grew up. They like to talk about money, like how much money they want, how much money they want to have, or they do have, or they had. They like to talk about the collections that they've made in terms of, maybe they're collecting gold or something like that, valuable, right? So they like to talk about these things. So to show interest or to win them over, please be interested. Ask them about their family, ask them about their background, ask them about, money and values and all of these things, right? However, they are also interested to talk about your secrets. They want to know about your secrets, you the partner. So now it means that you need to be open to share your secrets with this person. You need to be open to talk about your own family. You need to be open to talk about how you view sharing your money with them and all of this, right? And having a life together. So these are the things that you guys, you and him or you and her, are talking about. And remember again, looking at where your Mercury is, because his or her Mercury is in the second house. But if your Mercury is in conjunct or square to his, then it means that you could get tired of hearing about how they grew up. Oh my gosh, you say, again, I've already heard this story. Yes, you grew up like this, But then if your Mercury is trine, conjunct or sextile to theirs, then you are always eager to hear about how they grew up, how much money they have. You always open for that, right? But remember, they want you to be open as well about your secrets, about how much money you have, how much money you want to share with them, and about your sex life as well, your sex history, all of that. They want to know everything. So you need to be able to open yourself up about these things, right? So now Mercury is in the third house here. This partner with the Mercury in the third house, they love to talk about what's going on in the media. They like to talk about what's going on in the entertainment. So they like to talk about celebrities, the celebrity life, what's going on in the news. They like to talk about, what's happening around in the community, right? And they also like to talk about even the communication itself, how it can be improved in a relationship and all of that, right? But at the same time, they like to talk about their friends a lot. So if you are interested to win this person over, be able to show interest in all of these topics. But at the same time, you must be able to have a whole lot of stuff to share in your life with this person, because they want to know, have you traveled? They want to know, do you know about religion? They want to know your belief systems, and they want you to talk about these things because that's what they're interested about when it comes to you as the partner, right? So you need to share these things with them. So basically, the relationship between you guys in terms of communication, you're talking about, your education, you're talking about your experiences, travel experiences, you're talking about the media, what's happening with the celebrities. And if you don't, if this is not the type of things that interest you, then the communication is not going to be so jelly, right? However, as I said, you're also looking at your own chart. So if your own Mercury in your chart is trine, conjunct, or sextile to your partner's Mercury third house, then this communication will be easy to be enjoyed. But if it's a semi-sextile in conjunction square, you're just gonna get irritated, like, oh my gosh, are you talking about celebrities again? I don't want to talk about celebrities. I'm tired. I don't want to talk about what's going on in the social media. That doesn't interest me. All of that, right? Because it is a square or semi-sextile to your own Mercury. So to get this person, you can win them by talking about these things, but in the long run, if it's a semi-sextile in conjunction square, you're just gonna get tired and irritated and just find it boring, right? And then if it's trine, conjunct, sextile, these are, the things you're just going to discuss, and you're going to discuss a whole lot of subjects, because you, the partner, you're going to come up with a whole lot of experiences as well, things that you've learned. So your communication will be filled with, the lower and the upper part of communication and subjects in general, right? Now, if it's in the fourth house, the Mercury of your partner in their chart, they like to talk about their mom. But then they're not just talking about their mom. They are complaining a lot about their mother. They're complaining about maybe even their home life. They're complaining about, maybe even their property that they have, their car. They just always just complaining about something all the time. They just never happy, like their mom didn't give them a good upbringing. They just complaining about everything, about where they stay, about the furniture that they have, the car that they drive, something they always complaining about when it's in the fourth house, right? And what they enjoy talking about is, the status, that you could, open to them. So they want to know, are you able to give them an opportunity to have a status in life, maybe through your own status? Are you able to help them, achieve a bigger and a grander position in life, maybe in their profession or just in the community? So these are the things they want to talk about, or they want you to talk about to them and to propose to them. So again, this could be easy if it is a trine, conjunction, or sextile to talk about, but in terms of synastry. But then if in your synastry, your own Mercury is semi-sextile, in conjunct or square to this Mercury of your partner, then you could be irritated to just hear them talk about their mother all the time, like complaining, not just talking nicely, but complaining about everything, complaining about property, complaining, and then they just want to suck up your status and all of that. You're just going to get irritated. But if it's a trine conjunction, you're just going to be eager to hear, to listen, to help, and to use your own status in life, your own profession in life, your own standing in the community to help them and elevate them in terms of achieving their capabilities, right, or competencies altogether, right? So when it's in the 5th house, so this person, so they have their Mercury in their 5th house, right, in their chart. They like to talk about children. They just love talking about children. They like talking about creativity. They like to talk about movies a lot, and they know a lot about movies. They know which movie is gonna be out, which movie just came out, which movie came out in 1994. And they like to talk about also taking risks, like investing, crypto, all of that. They like that. They like to talk about that. And they want to hear about your goals. So when they are with you, they want you to talk about your projects that you have in life. They want you to talk about your friends. They want to know about your friends. They want to know about what are you dreaming about in life? What do you want to achieve? How much are you earning from your job? These are the things they want you to talk about, right? But so, as I say all the time, if it's a trine in terms of your own chart now, maybe your Mercury is in a trine to their 5th house Mercury, conjunct, semi-sextile, then these communications will be easy. But then if it's a semi-sextile in conjunction square, then these communications will be boring for you. You don't want to talk about children. You don't want to hear about children. You don't want to hear about movies. Oh my gosh, it's just annoying to you, right? All of this, right? But if you are already married, these are the things that you can show interest in to save your marriage. Start to listen when they talk about children. Start to listen when they talk about movies. Show interest when they talk about entertainment, cinema, all of that. All right, when they talk about romance itself and their ideas about romance and what romance is. All right, so these are the things that you could show. So basically, in this relationship, your communication, according to your partner's Mercury in the 1st house, in the 5th house, should be about children, should be about cinema, movies, entertainment, should be about dating, the intimacy, the romance itself. And you should be talking about your friends, about your wishes, your goals, how much you're earning, and these are the communication that will be happening in order for this person to feel like their communication is valued, or it's contributing to the relationship, right? Now, when the Mercury is in the 6th house here of your partner, right, in their chart is in the 6th house. Here, this Mercury, they know quite a lot of stuff, and they're confident in talking about a whole lot of these things, right? They talk about, their health a lot. They talk about their work a lot, and, how they analyze things at work, how they do procedures at work. They like to talk about what's going on in terms of just normal life. They like to talk about that stuff, and they know a whole lot about these types of things. Like if you're having a stomach ache and you just say to them, I have this stomach ache, for some reason they're gonna know what to take. They're gonna have an advice for you to solve your problem. So they have a whole lot of advices to solve problems. So they're very good. They're knowledgeable in terms of these things. So these are the things they talk about. And but they also want to know about what you think about spirituality. They want to know about your dreams. They want to know about your sex life, like your bedroom life. What do you do in the bedroom? How do you feel? What makes you feel comfortable in the bedroom? They want to talk about your sleeping schedule, or maybe they could even plan your sleeping schedule for you. They want you to talk about what makes you feel selfless in life. They want to talk about your expenses, because they want to plan about your expenses to help you. They want to analyze your investments, all of that. So these are the things that they want you to talk about and to be open to talk about. But if it's a trine conjunction sextile, this is going to be easy to do for sure. But then if it's a semi-sextile in conjunction and square, it's going to irritate you. You're just going to get bored and irritated, right? However, if you are in a relationship or marriage and you want to save your relationship, then start to ask them questions. Start to ask them for solutions. Even if you know a solution, just act like you don't know. Like, oh babe, what do you think I should do this? They're gonna be so happy to give you a solution to your problem, because this is what makes them feel valued in terms of communication and contribution to the relationship. So basically, in this relationship of your partner having a Mercury in the sixth house, your communication is around different subjects, but most of the time they want to organize their life for you. They basically just want to advise you. They want to analyze everything about your life, so you can allow them and let them lead that part. It doesn't hurt, right? And then you also share about what you're struggling with. You share about your dreams, you share about your losses and all of that, right? And then they can help you, and then you can help each other, right? And now when Mercury is in the 7th house here of your partner, right? So this is your partner's Mercury in the 7th house in their chart. So basically, this partner or this person that you want to date, they like to talk about what's going on in the markets. They like to talk about what's going on in general in the public, just about people in general. They like to talk about business for sure. They're always looking for to start a business. They're always talking, planning. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna start this business. I have this business. I want to expand this business. So these are the things they want to talk about. They want to talk about marriage as well. They're talking about marriage all the time. They're talking about the relationship itself. They just want to talk about it. They want to discuss things about it all the time. And they want you to be available to talk about yourself and to talk about how you feeling, what you're looking like, and all of these things. They want you to be open to that. So you cannot just decide, I don't want to talk about myself with this person. No, with this Mercury of your partner in the 7th house in their chart, they want you to talk about yourself, to just be all out there. Talk about how you're looking like, talking about your body. Oh, I look good, I feel good, I look pretty, I feel pretty. Talk about your dreams, your ideas, your passions, your projects. That's what they want you to talk about. And if it's in a trine conjunction sextile, this is going to be easy, this communication. And you also going to be entertained when they're talking about their business and all of that. You're going to support them, you're going to ask them questions, you're going to show interest. But if it's a semi-sextile in conjunction square, this is going to bore you. You're going to find it boring, right, in terms of synastry. But as I said, if you want to fix the relationship, then just be open to talk about these things that they want to talk about. Open up your mind and all of that, right? So now, if your partner's Mercury is in the 8th house in their chart, right? First of all, they like to keep a whole lot of things secret. It is difficult for them to talk about how they feeling. It is difficult for them to even understand what they feeling. And even if they get to understand what they feeling, then they get so emotionally overwhelmed to explain it to you, right? So they could be talking secretly with certain people, and they don't want everybody to know about it. So they would rather have you be close first, like as in be like a shared partner, like be a partner to them first before they tell you all their secrets or everything, right? And the more you get into the marriage, like the longer you are together, the more you get to know about them and about what they really think about and what they've been through and what they want to communicate about. But in the early stages, it will be a difficult thing for you to get even a hint of information. And they would give you things like, oh, I can't remember, I forgot. Those are the types of answers that they would give you in the beginning stages. So it would be difficult to really get this person to start a relationship by knowing who they really are, because they don't want to talk about that. So that means you must respect that boundary that they putting or they building up, so that then they can get to trust you, because trust then becomes another thing here. They get to trust you as the time goes, right? So but then they do want to know about your family. They want you to talk about your family. They want you to talk about how you grew up. They want you to talk about how much money you have. These are the things that are interesting to them, and they're going to listen to you, and they're going to show interest to that. But with time, you will get to know more about what's been bottling up in their heart, what's been bothering them as the time goes, right? And then as the time goes, and then you start to learn and they start to talk, then you find out that they really enjoy talking about sexual stuff. They like to talk about things that are taboo. They like to talk about things that are shocking. Like, these are the people who know a whole lot of stuff about, in terms of taboo subjects. But then it will take so much time for you to even know that they do know about these things, and they like to talk about these things, and they enjoy talking about these things, or even thinking about these things, right? So here, give time. So now your partner has their Mercury in the 9th house. So here, they literally just talk about travel all the time. They're planning to travel. They're talking about their travel. They're telling you where they've gone to in this world. They're talking about where else they're gonna go. They're talking about what their father taught them. My father taught me this, my father showed me this, or my mentor showed me this, my mentor that, right? So they're telling you all these stories about about the lessons they've gathered from these people, such as father, mentor, right? But also travel becomes so huge in their communication. It's like every day. There's no day that will not pass without them even mentioning travel, right? They like to talk about other cultures as well, even if they are not well exposed to those cultures, but they are interested to talk about different cultures, about how other people live their lives. They like to talk about these things, right? And they want you to also, talk about your friends. They want you to talk about your own travel plans. They want you to talk about your competence, like what you're good at, and they want you to show them the skills that you're good at. They want to even use those skills of yours to help them, plan their travels, all of that, right? So basically here the big topic is easy to talk about when it's trine, conjunct, or sextile with your own Mercury in your own chart when it comes to synastry. And then these topics will be difficult if it's a semi-sextile in conjunction or a square when we compare your chart and your partner's chart in terms of your Mercury placement, right? But I also forgot to add that in talking about what their father taught them, their mentors taught them, they also complain a lot. There is some sort of complaint that they will do about, oh, my father taught me this, but it was not correct. My father didn't want to teach me this, but right? So there's something relating to the mentor or the father that they will still complain about and not be happy about, even if their whole life is centered around that subject, right? So now Mercury is in the 10th house of your partner's chart, right? So when it's here, basically your partner is comfortable to talk about their status in life, to talk about their status in the community, to talk about their profession, to talk about their career and what they're doing, and most of the time they will be thinking about these things all the time. So it means that they're just talking about these subjects, and you need to show interest, right? But at the same time, they are open to hear you talk about your home life, to talk about your mom, how you were raised by your mom, or your relationship with your mom. How is it like? What type of cars do you want to buy? What type of a home do you want to own? These are the things they want you to talk about to them, right? So here, if it's a conjunction, a trine or sextiles of your Mercuries in terms of synastry, then these subjects will be easy and gelling, going, flowing in between you guys. But then if it's a semi-sextile in conjunction or square, one of you is just going to get irritated by the other one in terms of topics, in terms of communication, right? But if you want to make things work, then you just have to show interest in what they like to talk about. They also enjoy talking about their father. So they could be talking about their father and the structure that their father put in place for them. They could be talking about even how their boss at work, is setting up structures at work, all of that. So these are the things that you need to be open to talk about, right? But in you talking about your mom and your relationship with your mom and your home and your properties, right? They could give you a whole lot of critical comments or judgment, right? But it goes with that's how it goes. It goes with the communication, all right? So now when Mercury is in the 11th house of your partner's chart, in their chart, right, they enjoy talking about their friends. They are friendly. They are literally just surrounded by their friends. In any case, if you're wondering where your partner is or where this person is, they probably with their friend, or they probably on the phone talking to their friend, or they probably on Facebook talking to their friends all the time. They also like to talk about their salary a lot, and they like to talk about their dreams, their goals, what they want to achieve in this life. And they're open to hear you talk about creativity, to talk about your creative endeavors, what you like to go and what movies you talk about, you like to watch, right? So they are open to talk about that. They want to hear you talk about that, right? But at the same time, most of the things that you talk about could make them feel a bit insulted. So there could be that thing, because you would be so excited to talk about your creativity, to talk about your children, to talk about your investments, and for them then they could feel a bit of, oh my gosh, okay, you kind of like talking too above me, right, above my scale, because I'm only talking about my friends and my salary, I'm quite limited in terms of that, right? So there could be that small rejection in this dynamic of the 11th house, but it's good. You need to be open to these type of situations. Ask them about their friends, ask them what they're thinking about, maybe going out with their friends. You all go out, you have dinner with their friends and all of that, right? So just be open. Again, if it's a trine conjunction sextile, it's going to be easy peasy to have these communications. However, if it's a semi-sextile in conjunction or square to your own Mercury placement in your chart, then there could be complications, right? But if you want to save your relationship, just suck it up and do the job, right? And now Mercury is in the 12th house of your partner's chart, right? So basically here, usually what they want to say gets lost. So they will be talking about something, trying to tell you an idea, and they don't know how to explain it, or they don't find the right words to say it. And so you get confused, like, oh, what are you trying to say? What are you talking about, right? So it's like they're always talking hazily, or maybe too spiritual. And in their spirituality, they're even criticizing the spirituality itself, right? So it's like they just never satisfied truly about what they want to talk about, even their dreams. But at the same time, the way they talk about their dreams is so scattered to the point that the communication just gets confusing, right? But at the same time, they talk about art and how they could change the world. So they have these visions, like, of how I could change the world, of how I could impact the world, how I could go to a foreign land and do this and do that. They like to talk about these things, but at the same time they also have a tendency to criticize themselves at the same time, like, because they're trying to find sense in what they're saying, because now they're trying to find sense. You also confused, you also trying to find sense in what they're saying, right? And then because of this, they could bottle up most of their thoughts, they could bottle up most of their communication, and they could even literally have anxiety in terms of communication, or when they have to say an idea. They will try to sweet talk. They would lie a lot most of the time, but they're lying because they don't really want to say how they're feeling, or they don't know how to say what they're feeling. So there could be lots of lies as well that are coming here. They do enjoy, or maybe they are open to hear you talk about your work, what you do daily in your life, about your health and all of that, but they could find it too practical and tiring. So maybe they could be just listening to you, and then all of a sudden they just leave, and you're like, okay, but I was talking, this person just left. Right? So that could happen quite a lot here with this Mercury in the 12th house of your partner. Right now, you need to look at your own chart, where your Mercury is, because if your Mercury is trine conjunct sextile, then the communication will be easy to follow. You'll easily understand what they're trying to say without even having them to say it. It will be just like a spiritual communication that you both understand where the direction is going. But then if it's a semi-sextile in conjunction square, then definitely you're going to be lost, and you're going to be annoyed, and you're just going to be irritated with their communication. However, if you want to save your relationship, this is the type of thing you need to deal with and to accept. and to be able to just even like offer a prayer as well, right? So on that case, thank you everyone, and I'll chat to you soon. For now, I'm gonna say happy to ciao ciao.